Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a third generation Suzuki Jimny here. Been done out a bit for off-roading, but it failed its MOT recently on rear brake performance. So first thing I did was I changed the slave cylinder in both drums, put new shoes in because they were worn as well, and new drums. Fitted them all back on after rebleeding the system, and the brake performance is still quite poor on it. So you might be having the same issue, so I thought I'd do a quick video on this now. So next thing I suspect, it could be the master cylinder. The way this works is it's got dual chamber inside, so one chamber will pressurize for the front brakes and one chamber will pressurize for the rear brakes, which is why you can get front brakes working, rear brakes not. This is an ABS model, so it could also be an issue with the ABS module, but I think that's less likely and more expensive than ruling out our master cylinder first. A way I could test this would be to put a pressure gauge on each outlet of the master cylinder, make sure I've got good pressure, but unfortunately I've got no pressure gauges with the correct fitting. That'll go into that now, and I've sourced a master cylinder for £40 second hand with the servo as well, because the master cylinder quite often gets stuck inside the servo. It can be quite hard to separate it. If you have a non-ABS model, then you will also most probably have some sort of proportioning valve, and then that there could be a source of leakage as well, so you'd have to look at that. But I would definitely start first with the master cylinder. I've already removed the battery. It's got a few extra cables, it's got a winch and everything, so we'll ignore that, but I'll take you through the process of removing the master cylinder and fitting the new one. Okay, so we have the reservoir here. I've already drained this, and the way I did this was to open the bleed nipple on the rear brake. It doesn't matter which one you do. Leave it open and just keep pumping until this is completely empty, and this is going to reduce the amount of fluid we're going to lose into the engine bay. It's pretty nasty stuff to have dropping onto your engine, so it's best to try and flush as much of it out as possible. And once that's done, I've already sprayed these with penetrating oil, the two connectors. You might need a bit of heat on them as well, but you need to be very careful because we've got a lot of plastic close by. There we go, that's cracked off nicely. And will be the same process for both. We've got an electrical disconnection up here to do. This clip's actually broken, so it's come out quite easily. And then last of all, we've got the vacuum pipe on this side from the servo. So again, with the pincers, I can get that. Once that's done, I'm going to take this fuse box out. So I'll just put it in fast forward now, get that done. Okay, so there you can see I've not disconnected any of the wires from the fuse box. We'll just leave it loose down there, and then there should be enough space there now for us to pull that out once we've disconnected the pedal on the inside. So here we are inside, and then there's a pin that goes through here that attaches to the pedal itself, and there's like a spring split pin holding that in on one side, so that just needs a plier to remove it. Might even get it by hand. Yeah, so that's it out. That's what it looks like. So you just need to peel away at that, get that out, and then we can push this pin through. That's the pin out. And then up there you can see there's 4 bolts around the back of the servo. All I'll do is get a U-joint, and I think it's a 12mm, we'll get them undone. Okay, so now everything's disconnected on the inside and also the outside. So I'll just remove these rags that I put down for the bit of spillage, get them out the way. And there we are, that's it out. Okay, so now that's out, next thing to do is just clean up the area around here so that we get a nice seal on the bulkhead, and it's going to reduce the wind noise. On this one there's plenty of holes in the bulkhead already, so I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But yeah, then fitting it all back, so the reverse is taking it away, just have to bleed it afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to take the second hand one. We've got the felt gasket on there, just giving it a quick clean up all the way around. And like I said, it's just going to be the opposite of taking it out. Just a bit fiddly, getting all the wires and the brake lines out the way. So at the end then, just give it a small twist just to get the holes to line up, and then push it through. And then first thing I'm going to do is tighten up the 4 bolts inside the back, and then we'll put these brake hoses and the vacuum in. You can see there I've actually got the vacuum line trapped behind the servo, so good job I spotted that before tightening up. But yeah, do that next. Okay, so I've got just 2 nuts holding it on the back by hand. And the next thing we want to do is get these brake hose lines in, and we're just going to start threading them off just by hand, just to make sure we're not cross threading. Okay, struggled to get a bit to get that back one started, but I think it starts on the thread now. Looks like it's running perpendicular to the boss. So to get them tightened down, connect up this plug again. Yes, that goes around the back. Something similar to that. And the vacuum line, of course. Get that pushed on and get my plier again. There we are. Okay guys, so there we are. I've got everything nipped up on this now. I've put a bit of brake fluid in it, and all that's left to do is check there's no leaks around here. So for that, I've got some clean blue paper towel. I've cleaned everything up spotless already. I'm going to put that underneath. So if you've got any leaks present on the master cylinder, whether it be from a brake hose connection or a split in the cylinder itself, I'm going to see that very quickly, and then I'm going to bleed the brakes, and that's it done. So this will apply for many vehicles, not just the Jimny. If you've got the same problem, most cars have a redundancy system, so that if you have one failure on your brakes, you're not having total failure. So you could have a similar thing on a different make, model of car. But if it's helped you out, please make sure you give me a like and subscribe, and thank you very much.